Hello, Freds. This is the Big Wrangle podcast, and we're going for another sexy discussion about some education things. We're being joined by Tommy, Gabby, Addy, and Amelia. If you want to make noises to indicate who you are, then you can freaking do that, but it's no pickle if you don't want to, because I'm sure we'll figure it out as the episode goes. The first thing that we're talking about, well, we've got two things. One that applies to the Year 13s, and we've got three of them in this call, and the other thing that applies to the Year 12s. And seeing as we're going to be joined by another Year 13, we might as well start with the Year 12 stuff. So, because this is something that I've no experience with, but all of us who's going to be doing uni next year will have to experience it because we're going to be doing online learning. So, Addy, what's your experience been with online lessons and shit like that, in your opinion?
Well, sometimes we don't get any homework, and you can literally watch a movie during a lesson. So pretty great, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, right. That's weird. Is it the same frequency as? Is it literally just your college timetable? But that's
no, definitely not. You have way less lessons. So I mean, it's good. It's much more chill, but I don't think I'm learning as much as I would in a real lesson because at home I can't exactly focus down to study usually.
That makes sense. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that because working at home is impossible for a lot of people.
Yeah.
This was a thing that was suggested to me, because you missed out so much of learning and stuff, not just because it's hard to concentrate, but just because you're literally just receiving fewer lessons. Would you consider having lessons into your holiday time to make up for it? If it's been a bit more chill in between those lessons.
You know what? To be honest, no. Technically speaking, I wouldn't mind. I would like some, but then I mean, there would also be summer work over that. So I'd have to say no to that. If there wasn't any summer work, okay, it's like a replacement of summer work. I wouldn't mind. I'm yeah, sure, I'm down for that. But otherwise, no, that'd be too much work altogether.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. And the other thing that is actually, well, I don't know if it's happening. It's definitely happening to GCSE people. Oh, Tommy left. Lol. Stuff's been cut from people's exams, like the English literature GCSE. You don't have to do poetry anymore. I don't know if you've heard of that happening to any of your exams, but what do you think about that being a thing? Of just content from your course being cut out of the exam because you've had less time to prepare it, kind of thing.
That's a good thing, right? I mean, you haven't had the chance to exactly focus on certain aspects because of some unseen natural event, okay, which is not exactly your fault or the examiners or anyone else's fault. It's just kind of happened. So they're trying to assess you on what you know, actually, not on what you might have missed.
That's true. You don't feel annoyed that you've lost out on it. It's just kind of a.
I mean, it would have been. It depends on what different people probably have lost different things, but it depends on the course too. So maybe you've lost some logs or something. So I mean, if you lose logs, that's kind of problematic because I mean, logs are really needed for Year 13 maths. So which would just mess things up entirely.
Is that something that you've had to learn over internet because that's when you would have normally learnt it? That specific thing that you need in Year 13?
It wasn't logs, it was sequences and some stat stuff. So yeah, it wasn't. You had to learn on your own most of it, but some of it we had proper lessons.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. What actually is a lesson? I'm guessing they differ between each thing, but is it like a teacher with a webcam and then like a PowerPoint in the background kind of thing?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, most of the time they don't have a webcam, so we just see the PowerPoint, the share screen on Microsoft Teams. So and then what else? Or like my maths teacher, they actually took a whiteboard out and like wrote down everything on that. So that felt more like a lesson, okay, than the other lessons. PowerPoint lessons just on a computer, I don't know why it doesn't work. You can easily just. Plus, it kind of records, so you part of you thinks like, yeah, I can just watch it later.
By the way, who is your teacher, Addy?
Sorry, for maths.
Your maths teacher.
Lana.
Yes.
Lana.
Okay.
Wait, you have Craig, don't you? Sorry.
I forgot his name, to be honest. Did she start lessons, as soon as lockdown started?
Okay, Lana had quite a few lessons at the start. I mean, not the same as the others, but then as time passed, she dropped down the number of lessons she gave us, and like it became more of a learn on your own kind of thingy. Just hand out like stuff to do.
Right.
Watch videos.
It took our teacher until about 3 weeks until the end of summer, or 4 weeks. Until he figured out how to give us lessons.
Oh yeah. That was
so we basically had nothing.
What?
Yeah, I remember that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Some of the teachers could not use it for a while. I forgot about that.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was just even David was kind of confused at the start.
He would just breathe down the microphone.
Yeah.
Than me. Yeah, he'd sit there breathing. So this isn't
Yeah.
ASMR.
ASMR lesson.
Okay,
No.
having an ASMR lesson with your teacher is just weird and creepy on entirely.
That shouldn't be a
No,
thing.
what was
Yeah.
weird is one time I think he just came online in case someone wanted to ask a question, but I thought it was a meeting, so I was the only one there, and he was sat there
No.
listening to the radio. So I just sort of listened to the radio with him for about an hour to half an hour.
Oh, great!
That is terrible.
And then he finally noticed me, and he was like, "Oh, do you have a question?" I was like, "No, to be honest, I was just listening to the radio because it was quite interesting, actually."
You're just vibing with your teacher.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's brilliant.
That's weird. Would you say that like the consensus with everyone is that they're like a bit shit and not everyone really pays attention and cares because you can just do whatever you want to whilst you're in the lesson?
Sort of. Yeah. I would agree that. I'm not sure if Gabby would agree, but I mean, Gabby, do you agree?
At first I don't have a great attention span for those lessons because they're sort of like revision videos. So even whilst the teacher was going through a PowerPoint, I was doing other work. And then when it got to the point where I had so many assignments that I just literally plugged in my earphones into my phone, left the meeting on my phone on the bed, and was just doing my own assignment, not even listening. So it's like I can't do the lesson, sir. I'm doing other work. So yeah.
Does that mean that it's like not very interactive? It's literally just someone lecturing you through a video call.
Basically.
Yeah.
Really? That's such a shame.
People.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys missed out on this bit. Now all the years. Wait, did any year 13s have any lessons though?
I don't think
I had one biology lesson.
Oh, okay. How was that? Was that
It
like?
was alright, to be fair. I think most of our classes, actually no, I think half the classes left, but it was because we got given all of the stuff to finish our courses if we wanted to. So if we wanted to finish, we had the stuff to do it with. But only for our biology teacher, because we were nearly finished on a topic, gave us one lesson to sort of get that done. But besides that, we didn't have any.
Okay. That makes sense. Did they at least record the lessons so you could like watch them back? If you like missed something.
Yeah, they did record the lessons, but they later deleted it.
So there's no point then.
Yeah, I'm like, they just record it for like legal purposes and then just delete it. I'm like, what if I wanted to watch it again? It's on there.
That
for,
would
like,
be a legit use.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm like, I missed out on one topic, so I thought I'd watch it later, and then later came like 2 weeks later or something. So by that time it's deleted. Yeah, easily. It's just gone.
So silly.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. That's a shame. And you said there was a lot less homework. Is that like significantly, and like it's rare that you get homework? Is it in the same kind of style as you'd normally get it?
Okay, you know, computer science had plenty of homework, but then maths, it was like almost none. Okay, but then physics was. Oh no, we got plenty of work in physics. It was just in maths, but then maths it suddenly became quite a bit during the end. You know, when she finally understood how to work everything out. That's when it was like. And I was like, okay.
So she wanted there to be a fuck ton of homework, she just couldn't figure out how.
Yeah, basically. It was just. Maybe she tried to cram in, kind of, but then still, it worked out.
Yeah. You've officially finished now. Am I right in thinking that? You're not doing any more online lessons now?
Oh no, normal lessons. That normal lessons during summer vacation. Quick question.
Hello.
Is college going to open or in September? Is it opening?
I'm guessing that because unis are still doing they're still doing online lessons. I'm guessing that college will be doing the same, which sucks. But they might not be, because some schools are. But then I guess in their smaller classes or something.
I mean, but Shrewsbury is quite a quieter area, so it's the more of the urban areas which are kind of struggling.
That's true.
Oh, okay. Wait, what was the debate again? What were we discussing?
This first one was not actually a debate. I just wanted to know what was going on with your lessons because I had no idea.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
They were praying questions.
Oh.
There is one question though. I don't know what you think about the rest of the years. So you've got last year whose college experience is going to be online, but then most of it will be offline and in person. You've got your one that's been cut off and bits of it are online, and then you've got ours, which is just we've had it all basically in person, but we've had our exams fucked. Which one do you prefer if you had a choice of going in one of those years, out of interest?
Wait, can you rephrase your question?
Okay. Basically, would you prefer to have had your exams cancelled and had all of your lessons in college, or would you prefer to have your situation? Basically, that's basically it.
Oh, so would I be in year 12 or in year 13 right now?
Yeah. Which one would you prefer?
Ooh, you know what? Year 12's kind of a safer bet right now, you know, because and then year 13, it would be kind of a messy situation. But you know, ooh, no. You know what?
The exams are pretty stinky.
I prefer year 13, you know, because my target grades got messed up, so I'm because my plan was kind of push when PG3 ended. No, PG3 came. Okay, it was push my grade up to A/B in PG3, and then push it to an A in PG4, but then it just got messed up because Corona came and I was like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to happen. Just no. Yeah. So year 13 definitely.
That's fair. I feel like a lot of people's plans was to push at the last minute, but that kind of fucked everyone over. So, yeah, that's fair. That's really interesting about your experiences, by the way. I had literally no idea what was going on, and that's not really made me very excited about going to uni and doing online ones, but hopefully it'll just be a mixture of some in person, which is what it sounds like it's going to be.
I think it's going to be kind of dull for you guys doing uni from online, because the thing about uni is like you meet loads of new people,
yes,
and then that's not going to happen online.
No.
Okay, that's going to be weird, man.
Don't become Skype buddies.
Skype.
It's quite good that like. And I've only just found this out, and I think this is a bit of a saving grace as far as the student life experience. That the 10 or so people who you share a kitchen with, all of those people you don't have to social distance with, because they're just your household now. I don't know if that's the same for you, Amelia, but
like a little bubble together.
I think that's that's good. Because 10 new people is better than no new people on Skype.
At least you can meet somebody.
Yes. Yeah, very true. Okie dokie. That's cool. Right. Have you been following much of the A-level results stuff, Addy? Out of interest. Doesn't matter if you haven't. I'm just wondering.
Wait, there's a bit of an echo. Give me a sec.
There is. Is it Tommy?
What? I didn't do nothing.
Have you got headphones? Are you sure?
I have got headphones.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
You sound like you're in a
Is that
cave. Slap your mute button on Tommy just for a moment. And
Hello.
speak. I genuinely don't know. Right. Okay. You try speaking now, Addy.
Oh, I think it's done.
Oh,
yeah,
oh my
we
god.
fixed it.
It was actually Tommy all this time. Absolutely
Tommy! Tommy, what did you do, boy?
We are sad and we are disappointed. The question that I was going to ask before Addy decided to live in a cave was how much have you been keeping up with A-level results day stuff? As in for us, I genuinely just don't know how much you've been
not
hearing
much,
about
but I
it.
heard that it was like something of the grading thing was like, what was it, like area based or something like that?
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused now. Okay, why would you do that? That's kind of stupid.
Everyone's confused. You've summed up the entire experience for literally everyone. And probably
Because
as well.
it makes sense if you do it based on predicted grades. Okay, that still makes sense. Okay, it shows how much work you've put in. Predicted grades, sort of like 70-80% time are right. Okay, but then area based, no, that just doesn't work, man. How are you trying to even? So you're telling me if I go and live in Telford, I'm gonna get I don't know D U something like that. But if I go live in Basted Hill, I get an A.
Yeah. Right. That they. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's really stupid. They provided their own explanation, and I asked everyone what they thought of it, and it was a bit. Oh no, it wasn't a mixed response at all. It was quite the opposite. So they produced a report. This is off-qual that I'm talking about. The results were that 4.7%. There was a 4.7% increase for private schools getting A or A star grades versus sixth forms, which is only 0.3. Which doesn't sound like a massive difference, but it's like a consistent difference that private schools are getting like better grades. So, right, okay. So there's a college in Eton, which you might have heard about, didn't get any grades downgraded from their teacher predictions, which is because of what we're about to see. So the explanation that they provided was that So if you've got like a small class of people, they decided that if it's like a really small class and they put a number to it, but they haven't said what the number was. If you're in a small class, then they're more likely to receive closer to their teacher predictions. And if you've got an extremely small class, then you just get your teacher predictions. There won't be any moderation or reductions. And obviously, because private schools have smaller classes, that means that private schools are just getting like much more grades that are similar to their teacher predicted ones. And the whole point of it was that teacher predicted ones are probably going to be a bit of an overestimate. So basically, private schools have better grades. And I asked people if they thought that was a bad thing, and 12 people said that it's bad, and nobody said that it was good. So, what are your thoughts on this? Being the explanation, people, is it justified? Does it make sense? Oh yeah, actually no. One more thing. Before I say that, the reason that they said that they do all of this is that smaller groups of people, they're supposed to be like less predictable as far as what they're going to do, and also maybe if it's a smaller class, then the teachers will know them better. But that's literally the only justification that they gave, that there's less like evidence to predict what they'll do next based on the previous years. So
basically it's like larger class means more variables you need to account for, and smaller class means smaller variables you need to account for. Okay, so I'm still kind of confused about the explanation they're trying to give. What they're trying to say? What's the conclusion? What's it trying to say?
Basically, it's that like a small class, it's going to be extremely difficult to predict what they'd actually get because there are just so few people. But then private schools have small classes, so.
Okay, so you won't be able to predict as much for private classes. So isn't that a good thing? So they would get the grades they're supposed to get, but then okay. That sounded just. Oh, that makes sense now. I'm like, ooh.
See the colours going in your head.
Well, you muted me.
Yeah, because you were in a cave.
I've been talking like all this time. Through you.
I'm sorry, Tommy. We decided that you were the source of the echo. I'm sorry.
Is it echoing now?
No.
No, it's fine. I apologise,
Okay.
Tommy.
No reason.
To anyone. If you remember what you were saying, Tommy, then you should say it because we can hear you now.
No, I was just actually what you just said, which is that it makes sense statistically why they do that, because smaller groups have greater variability and therefore they have to do that. And also, this, can I just put something in chat?
Freaking do
it. In the group chat. That I don't know. It seems that you were saying like the algorithm was for why private schools are going up more, whereas that's just generally how it works. Like last year, private schools went up by like the same amount as this
that's
year.
the thing.
So it's just how society works, basically, rather than
this I don't, because that thought is something that I've been thinking about, like, because for example, what the algorithm does is it essentially benefits people with small class numbers, but then if you're in a smaller class, you'll just do better anyway. So I don't know if it like kind of works out in the end in some kind of way. But then equally, should it be? I don't know. It seems a bit weird. I don't know if it's like, because the justification sort of makes sense, but then it seems a bit fairer to give everyone predicted grades rather than.
Wait, I don't. What's the justification? Is it the smaller, larger thingy?
Just, I think because it would just be less accurate than the teacher predicted grades using the moderation in a smaller class number.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, understandable. Maybe you can. I don't know.
It ties into the thing with like, Because if you're in a sixth form college that has bad results typically, then you're more likely to, with the algorithm, you're more likely to get worse results. But then equally, in real life, if you're in a college with bad results, statistically, you're probably more likely to get worse results. So I don't know if it's like, because the whole pickle with that is that it's not accounting for people who like try extra hard because of their adversity. But then, how could you?
The entire thing with the system is it's fair if you look at it like countrywide or college-wide, but then it's just individually, it can never be a fair system.
Yeah.
I'd say in that case, I kind of would trust the teachers more because, say, if a college has an average of a C, the algorithm would have the aim to try and balance it out so overall they still got them. Looking at it college-wide rather than if an individual genuinely would have got what they've got, it will still change it just so it fits past statistics rather than the actual student's abilities, which would be more reliable from the teachers.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's similar to the mock appeal. What do people think about mocks as being an appeal route? Because 30 minutes before results day, they published. They said that they were going to allow mock results to be a thing, and allegedly that was to avoid the Scotland backlash kind of thing. But then they withdrew them saying that, and the way that they justified it on Saturday. And it's a thing that, like, because so many of our mocks, not only the fact, disregarding the fact that like no one tries on their mocks because they're just less important. It feels like some sort of thing needs to account for that, but just other things like teachers will often hint at or just directly tell people what the exam's going to be on, and the whole justification for them using that as an appeal route is that they're like the closest thing to the exam.
Yeah,
I don't
know if
think they're going to be reliable because there's just so many variables as much. I mean, not everyone does mock, and then at least with the case, especially in some of my subjects, they'll put on topics that they know that overall the students might not be as good at because it's a chance for them to see them in the context of the exam and get better. Yes. So you kind of expected not to do as well because you're focusing on the things you need to improve on for the actual thing. So I don't think they'd be an overall view of how all the students doing.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, I think it's completely stupid they're using them. Like they're the opposite of consistent. People try at different levels. Lots of people don't try at all. People cheat in a lot of them. Teachers give them the answers in some of them. It's silly.
Yes. So, I mean, because they've said about like, so you've got like 3 things to appeal, and mocks is one of them. I don't know what they do if they don't have any evidence for mocks. As far as like, this is the more debatable thing, because it had a very split poll result. So the reason that they've done all this moderation and stuff is because the statistics of like how the teacher predictions would have like been balanced out is that overall grades would be 12% higher, and 38% of everyone would get an A or an A star if the teacher predictions alone were used. So the algorithm was brought in to make it like a bit more like typical of A-level results. And the reason that they said that was because if they didn't do that, it would damage the reputation of the A-level. So for example, like if you didn't go to uni and you just had your A-levels and your employer looked at your thing and it said like all A's, normally that would be like, whoa, they must be really good. But then what they're saying is that if the stereotype of a 2020 A-level student, it's that you've had your grades raised, then it's going to be like, well, no, those clearly aren't what they are like. So I'll just say we did the poll. The question was, is it like a justified thing that it would damage the reputation of the A-level 5 people said it was a legit thing, like a legit justification, and 10 people said that it wasn't. So, what are thoughts on whether that's a thing?
I think I'd say kind of on the flip side of that, if we're going with, like 52% of people from our college marks were downgraded. That's a lot of marks. And I'm just thinking, I'm going to uni, but once I get a job, if there's someone from another year who got the higher grades than me, who got the lower grades because I was downgraded, they're saying that these A-levels will count the same amount as any other year, which is fair enough, but if they see the two of us together, by nature they're going to go for the one that was higher, even if the person in this year's grades aren't fair on them. So I understand with them not wanting them all to be higher, but at the same time, if they're not fair, they're not fair.
That's very true, actually. I completely forgot about that as a thing. Yeah, it's just true.
So Scotland was bought, they did the U-turn, so they're no longer downgraded. That seems a bit unfair because ours is still at the level of downgrading where theirs aren't, so they're going to have average on higher, so that kind of messed up stuff as well.
That's very true. Because I mean, well, there's a few people that we've been talking to that have even there because they released the teacher predictions on Pro Portal, and a few people, even those, were not representative of what they thought that they would get. And you can appeal those if you've got enough evidence to. But then, like, the whole route for that is that, like, you can only do that appeal if you have proof of, like, it being something else. But then the whole point of it, that's it. But the whole point is that, like, well, it's discrimination, but also, like, just any reason that you think that you didn't get that grade, but then the teachers are going to have all of that evidence. But yeah, discrimination is, like, extremely difficult to prove, especially when there's like 400,000 people appealing. So just as far as the teacher predictions, what would you feel like if they just used those and they hadn't moderated them as far as an option? Because some people are still unhappy with theirs.
I think probably on average, people would be happier. Obviously, I can't say for everyone, but I think a vast majority of people would be happier because obviously the teacher has seen their work throughout their 2 years and has seen not just like exam work, but how they put effort towards working lessons as well.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing, which I put it down in like an appeals kind of thing. There was a college in Oxford. It was called Worcestershire College, maybe something like that. But basically said that, like, no matter what happens, no matter what appeal you have or what your grades end up being, they're never going to be like valid at all. So they're just going to accept you based on the offers that were made. So they just accepted all of their offers. To quote them, they said that there wasn't going to be any new information that could justify rejecting someone, which I think is quite smart. Is that good in your opinions? Everyone?
Yeah, that's pretty fun. It makes sense. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
It would definitely make a lot of people more happy, and like I don't understand why. Like, I get with A levels as far as like I mean, I don't know if I fully agree with it, but there's definitely an argument for like making sure that everyone doesn't get A stars. But like, why not just let people into university? What's the actual like downside of that? Unless you've got like too many places, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, does anyone know like why they don't want that to happen just for this year? If that's I genuinely don't know. I can't think of any reason.
Well, for the top universities, I think they have a reputation, I guess.
Yes, that is
true. They want to ensure that they get people who have the right work ethic and who in the end are going to get what the uni would desire them to. But I mean, you can't guarantee that even if someone got good grades if they did take them. So it just seems fair that, because this year is so unprecedented, to just, if they were good enough for the university when they applied, it seems quite fair for them to be accepted.
Yeah. And I guess, like, even if you didn't include people, as far as the whole, like, you're missing out on people who... no, sorry. As far as, like, the aim being that you're getting the most amount of people who are hardworking and stuff, there are likely to be a lot of people who you'd be excluding if you didn't let them in because of their predictive grades kind of thing. Because they might have, like, had a bad mock at the start of the year and then kicked them into action. So it's a bit of a pickle. I guess, like, because the fact of the matter is that there's no, like, model that could ever account for every single situation. And I guess it's that, like, what they're trying to do is get a model that works for most people, and then the appeals mean that if you think that it's bad or not representative, then you can get it changed, and that's more of a case-by-case basis. But it's just a lot fewer people than like everyone appealing, or everyone having to do the appeal route.
And they weren't even going to have an appeal based on academic grounds, which is really stupid, I think.
Really?
Well, yeah, originally when they made the they were going to have appeals based on discrimination and things like that, but not on terms of anything academic.
Yikes!
And they were going to make you pay for it.
Yeah, that's another thing. That is actually another thing. Well, the money thing is just terrible because college was refunded all of the exam money. Because that was another thing that I've heard recently. Quite a few universities are saying that they'll accept people to join in January because, like, appeals are going to take forever. So, and it's almost inevitable that you won't be able to start in September if you're doing an appeal route and not doing clearing. So what they're saying is that you could do the autumn exam and then just start in January, which isn't ideal, of course, but for some people it would be better than not going to their university at all. What do people think about resitting as if we've already sat the exams, but, like, sitting the exams as an option, as an appeal route? Would you ever consider it?
For some people, if they do feel like they do particularly well on exams, then it might be good for them. But there's also the fact that we haven't been in education for 5 and a bit months. And when lockdown first started, we weren't necessarily in the mindset of, I'm going to have to do this in autumn. So it's not like we've constantly been keeping up to date with what and going over our work. So it'd be sort of from now you've got to start revising.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do it, but that's only because I'm doing a gap year and I might as well. But yeah, it's going to be a struggle getting back into work because I've forgotten everything.
Yeah. Have they said anything about, like, is it literally just going to be the same exam, essentially, that it would have been if it had been done in the summer? They're not going to make it smaller so you have less things to revise?
No, I think it's the same.
Crikey. And does that mean that, because I don't really know when autumn is, does that mean that you go back to college and have online lessons for a little bit for your case, Tommy?
I know as much as you do. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay.
I was seeing what appeals are like first, and then I'll see what I need to actually do the exam on.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is, like, I don't know if this is a good thing, but, like, because they do the grade boundaries based on, like, everyone, maybe the fact that everyone's kind of fucked, it will kind of mean that, like, as in everyone's had that same gap in their education, that, like, everyone's going to be equally as in a pickle, so it will kind of level itself out, and it'll just be pure. Yeah.
Hopefully everyone's short.
Yes. Everyone be bad, so Tommy can get an A* without having to do any revision. That would be the best case scenario. Nice. I don't think we, like, properly touched on it, or at least I didn't hear Tommy's opinion. As far as, like, because the statistics just simply show that if you're, like, from a bad neighborhood, or from a bad college, or from, what was the other one? Like getting free school meals or something like that. Oh no, yeah, if you're in a private school, you're going to do better. All of those things that sometimes dictate what happens. Do you think that they should be included in the algorithm if they do statistically like correlate, even though they're not like inextricably linked? Do you think that that should be included in the algorithm?
What do you mean? You mean just because what? Because independent schools get better usually. Well, of course they should be in the algorithm. I don't really understand the question.
Just but even for things like free school meals or where you live, that kind of thing, it's a bit more of a grey area.
I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Seems a bit stupid, but maybe if there is correlation, then I guess it's legitimate to put it in. But there's probably a good argument against that. I don't know.
Yeah, so one reason for saying that in terms of like preschool meals and postcodes and stuff, why I'd say no is because it may work on a large scale. But on the large scale, people have that, but then they also have the opportunity to do the exams and sort of prove it wrong, for want of a better phrase. Obviously, because you could be ridiculously smart and still be under those circumstances, but you don't get a chance to prove it this year. So I don't think it's fair to sort of put everyone in a category of postcode or monetary situation when they don't actually have the chance to show otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair. A thought came to me as far as this kind of thing. It's kind of the opposite of what they call contextual offers, because in that situation, if you're in a bad, if you come from a bad neighborhood or you go to a bad college, you get your offers lowered. I don't know if people have the same attitude towards them, because it's the same, like it's sort of the same justification that like you're more likely to be in a bad have lower grades. What do people think of? I don't know if any of you received contextual offers. I got one of them, which was lucky. Do you think that they're fair as far as that kind of thing? It might just be the same answer that you gave for the flip side of it with the moderation side of things.
I'd say with contextual offers, because obviously 99% of the time people do take the exams, they may be given slightly lower, but if they exceed it, great, and there's no sort of repercussion on them. If they do better, and that's great. But with this, they could have done better, but now they don't have the opportunity, so presume they don't.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Is there any? Because again, I don't know what contextual offers you got. Would you feel like it's unfair for people to have contextual offers? Because it's for some people, like, I mean, like in my situation, objectively, the neighbourhood that I'm in fell right into the like you should get a contextual offer, meal brace, which is the that's a bad school, and college is a bad school. So, but then like I don't feel like it actually negatively affected me. I think like college is great, and I don't know if they base it off of the inadequate rating that we got, but that was for safeguarding and not education, which doesn't affect my like end of grade thing. So I guess like the way that I saw my own contextual offer was that like I didn't really deserve it because it didn't really affect me, and obviously I couldn't decline it. But I don't know if any of you have similar feelings as far as other people's or your own contextual offers. Might just be me, to be fair.
Well, I mean, I think there's always going to be people like you who don't deserve it, really. But I mean, on the broad, well, I'm using your words. I don't know.
Yes.
In the broader scheme of things, it's probably a good thing. I don't have any experience because I didn't apply, but yeah, it's probably a good thing. Just I mean, life's unfair. It's trying to make up for that a bit. It seems like a generally good idea to me.
Okay. Hello, Addy. By the way. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. We were talking about contextual offers, Addy. I don't know how familiar you are with. We can't hear you, by the way.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hello. Yeah, we can hear you now. By the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what contextual offer is, Addy?
Nope. No clue.
Okay. So you get your offers from university based on what course you do and how predicted grades and stuff. And this is an automatic process, you don't have to sign up for it or anything. If UCAS sees that you come from a deprived neighbourhood, or if your school is bad or your college is bad, Shrewsbury Sixth Form is counted as one of those ones. They automatically give you lower entry requirements because you come from a bad thing. So they're expecting that your performance is lesser because of your circumstances. I don't know if you have any opinions on that as far as it being unfair or anything like that.
Great thing. I'm up for it. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm on the receiving end of this, so I'm all in. Give it to me, bro.
Yeah, I was on the receiving end of it as well, and if I hadn't gotten the contextual, then my insurance, what it is now, would have been higher than my.
How do you know what your
thingy
is? Contextual. Contextual. There you go.
On some university websites, they have things that are like, will you get a contextual offer? And they're not 100% certain, because I did it for my first choice and they said that it would, but then I didn't. So it's not a thing that you can change unless you moved house. But basically, it will all do it automatically for you, and you'll just know when you get your offer, if it's lesser than what you expect it to be, then you probably have a contextual offer. You can kind of check on some university websites, but it's quite a cool process overall, I think. Hello everyone, this is Kai in the future. Basically, after this we just talked about random stuff, so it hasn't been included in the episode, so we're going to skip to the ending now.
Thanks for joining us today at the Big Wrangle podcast. It's been great seeing all you guys again. Amelia, you're a great person, although we didn't talk much, to be honest. Kai, we gotta meet more men. Alright, Gabby. Alright, Tommy. Alright, so we'll see you again next time at whenever this video is released. Yeah? When is the video generally released?
Sunday.
That's it. Sunday. There you go. Next Sunday then. Alright. Thank you. See ya.
That was beautiful.
Peace out. Yeah, don't stay in. Okay? Don't get the corona.
Stay safe, stay alert, and protect lives.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening.
Oh yeah, bye bye. Everyone say bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.